mentioned that there are different forms of education, material, spiritual, and physical.
Yeah.
Do you think perhaps that the problems in the world today, the turmoil that is happening, is to do with the focus of education being on one or two rather than all three aspects that you mentioned?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And I think it's becoming increasingly obvious that there is something lacking. You know, in the Baha'i writings, it's said that man is a mine, and it's full of gems, and the only way which man's capacity can become availed is through education. And education has this ability to raise a generation of people and really fulfill their purpose. And today, I think, looking at my own education, whether it be from tertiary to even primary and high school, there's a very strong focus on the intellectual side, which is critical for man's intellectual rigor and reasoning, but it's not complete. And when I look back at my 12 years of high school and primary school, I cannot recall a single session which focused on, well, what about morality? What about our character? How do we develop these things, our ethics? And these are, I think most people would agree, fundamental parts of who we are as people, but at least in the formal education, it's not present. And I guess there's an assumption that this belongs in the home. And I think it does belong in the home, but it should be an equal part of society in its formal structures. And ethics and morality aren't unique to one religion, and you can very much educate people in these forms without imposing anyone's view. And I think you can link so many of the world's problems to a fundamental lack of education. Even the crises which occur in my field, which is economics and financial crises, they have a very strong connection to the most basic principles. And one of the Baha'i principles, for example, is about moderation in all things. And in economics, the first thing that they teach you is that it's about trying to match unlimited wants with limited resources. And this fundamental principle which drives the economics of all governments and all economies is something which I think, when you boil it down, has a friction with such a basic value. Why should I have unlimited wants? Why should I demand everything and demand that I have every need satisfied? And when you reduce it back to modesty and moderation, that perhaps I don't need that third iPod, or I need every form of this series. Instead, perhaps this resource would be better expended in dealing with poverty. And I guess the broader point I'm trying to say is education in the most fundamental form is the problem, well, the lack of education is the problem to many of the world's problems.